Listen to me carefully. Life will break you if you let every little thing pierce your soul. People will talk, they will judge, they will betray, and the world will throw storms at you without warning. But the truth is, you are stronger than the noise, stronger than the pain, stronger than the chaos around you. The moment you let others see that their words or actions can control your emotions, you hand them your power. The greatest weapon you can ever build is silence in the face of negativity and calmness when everything screams for your reaction. You must learn to act as if nothing bothers you, not because you don't feel, but because you refuse to let feelings dictate your strength. Every time you smile through the hate, every time you move forward when people want you to collapse, you rise above their world and create your own. Power is not in shouting, not in proving, not in explaining. It's in showing no weakness. When the storm hits, stand tall, breathe deep, and move like it doesn't touch you. That is how leaders are made. That is how unshakable souls are built. And that is how you win the game of life. Never let emotions expose your weakness. Control is power. That statement may sound simple, but it holds a depth that separates winners from losers, the strong from the fragile, the leaders from the followers. In life, emotions are inevitable. We are human and we will always feel anger, sadness, frustration, jealousy, fear. They all come and they all try to rule our decisions. But the difference between a weak mind and a powerful one is how those emotions are handled. Weak people allow emotions to run wild and expose them for everyone to see. They explode in anger, cry in desperation, panic in pressure, and reveal every crack in their armor. Strong people feel the same emotions, but they refuse to let them control their actions or reveal their vulnerabilities to the world. Control is power because when you master your reactions, you master your reality. Think about it. When someone insults you or tries to provoke you, the immediate emotional response is to fight back, argue, or lose your calm. That is what they expect. That is the trap. The moment you react, you've given them exactly what they wanted, control over your state of mind. But when you look them in the eye, unmoved, unfazed, unbothered, you take their weapon away. You leave them powerless because they cannot affect you. That is the highest form of dominance. It is not about suppressing emotions forever. It is about training yourself to delay, redirect, and channel them into something productive rather than destructive. People often confuse control with suppression, but they are not the same. Suppression is pretending emotions don't exist, burying them until they poison you from the inside. Control, on the other hand, is acknowledging that you feel, but choosing not to be enslaved by those feelings. Imagine a warrior on the battlefield. Fear runs through him, but he doesn't let fear paralyze him. He controls it, uses it, and moves forward with steady hands. That is power. Now compare that to a man who panics, loses composure, and makes reckless decisions. Who wins? The one who controls, not the one who reacts. Life constantly tests you with moments that tempt you to expose weakness. An argument with your family, betrayal from a friend, failure in your work, rejection in love. Each one is designed to pull an emotional reaction out of you. If you let those emotions rule you, you become predictable and easy to manipulate. But if you learn to remain calm, to act as if nothing can shake you, you become untouchable. That calmness becomes your armor, and that armor allows you to move through life with strength, clarity, and unshakable focus. Control is not just about surviving conflict. It's about creating success. When you are calm, you think clearly. When you think clearly, you make better choices. Better choices lead to better results. That is why the most successful people in the world are not the most emotional, but the most composed. They may feel the same chaos as everyone else, but they move through it without letting emotions blind them. They don't waste energy on anger or self-pity. They channel that energy into building, creating, and winning. Your emotions are signals, but they should never be your master. Anger may signal that something is unfair. Use it to push harder in training, to focus on your goals, to sharpen your discipline. Fear may signal risk. Use it to prepare more, to stay alert, to strengthen your resilience. Sadness may signal loss. Use it to learn, to grow, to build something better. The key is to control these emotions like a rider controls a wild horse, directing its energy where it serves rather than where it destroys. Ask yourself this: how many times have you looked back at a moment and regretted reacting out of pure emotion? How many relationships have been damaged because words were were spoken in anger? How many opportunities were missed because fear held you back? How many battles were lost because you showed weakness at the wrong time? Every one of those moments could have been different if control was your foundation. The ability to pause, breathe, and act with strength instead of reaction is what separates discipline from chaos, growth from destruction. The truth is, people are always watching you. Enemies, friends, colleagues, strangers, they are all observing how you carry yourself. The one who is unshaken, calm, and composed commands respect, even without speaking. But the one who crumbles under pressure, who exposes every weakness, becomes easy to dismiss, easy to manipulate, and easy to defeat. If you want to be powerful in this life, never hand your control over to anyone else by showing them they can affect your emotions. You will never stop emotions from arising, but you can train yourself to handle them with discipline. Control is power, because power is the ability to choose your response no matter the circumstances. And when you master that, no insult, no betrayal, no setback, no storm can break you. Instead, you will walk through the fire with steady steps while others burn themselves out with panic and rage. That is true strength, the strength that makes others wonder how you remain untouchable, the strength that makes you unstoppable. Silence and composure intimidate more than anger ever will. Most people believe that power is shown by how loudly you can shout, how quickly you can argue, or how aggressively you can respond when challenged. They think dominance comes from raising their voice, throwing punches, or proving a point in heated conflict. But that is a lie. True dominance is calm. Real strength is measured in silence. When the world expects you to explode and instead you stay composed, that is when you terrify them the most. Anger is predictable. Anyone can get angry. Anyone can shout when insulted. Anyone can slam doors, throw fists, or let rage consume them. That behavior is ordinary, it's human, and it's weak. It shows the enemy exactly where your buttons are and how easy it is to press them. Anger exposes you, it strips you bare, reveals your lack of control, and hands over your power. On the other hand, silence is a mystery. Composure is unsettling. When people attack you, insult you, or try to break you, and you refuse to give them the reaction they want, they begin to wonder what kind of strength you hold inside. They start to question themselves. They ask, why isn't he bothered? Why doesn't she react? That psychological confusion is far more powerful than any loud outburst. Consider this. When two people argue, the one who loses composure first already loses the battle. Their emotions take over, their reasoning collapses, and they say things they can't take back. But the one who listens calmly, who stays silent when provoked, who looks unshaken, that person holds the upper hand. The loud one may feel like they're winning because they're making noise, but the calm one is in control. Composure turns the fight upside down because it shows you cannot be broken by words, chaos, or pressure. Silence also carries weight because it leaves space for others to drown in their own noise. When someone shouts and you don't respond, they become uncomfortable. Their words echo louder against your stillness, and they start to realize the futility of their effort. Silence acts like a mirror. It reflects their weakness, their lack of control, and their desperation. The longer you stay composed, the more their anger burns them from the inside. You don't even have to fight. You let them destroy themselves while you stand untouched. That is why silence is feared. It shows an invisible strength that cannot be matched with volume or rage. Composure in difficult situations is not only intimidating, it is also powerful for decision-making. Anger clouds the mind. When you are angry, you see only red. You act without thinking. That's why people regret decisions made in anger. They were blind in the moment. But composure clears the fog. A calm person sees the situation for what it truly is, not what emotions distort it to be. That clarity allows you to strike with precision instead of wasting energy on meaningless reactions. Calmness lets you win wars with strategy instead of shouting matches with chaos. Think about history. The most respected leaders, warriors, and kings were not those who constantly screamed in fury. They were the ones who could hold steady under pressure, who stood still when others panicked, who spoke with weight instead of noise. Their silence carried more command than 1,000 shouts. Their composure under fire inspired armies, intimidated enemies, and created unshakable respect. Why? Because people instinctively follow strength that does not need to prove itself through anger. Silence does not mean weakness, nor does it mean submission. Silence is not about letting others walk over you. It is about choosing the moment to respond, if at all, and doing it with precision. When you remain composed, you conserve your energy. You don't waste it on meaningless outbursts. You keep it stored until the time comes to act, and then you act with force that cannot be ignored. Silence is the art of patience. Composure is the art of discipline. Together, they create a presence so powerful it unsettles everyone around you. The truth is, anger fades quickly, but silence lingers. People remember the one who stayed calm. They think about it long after the confrontation is over. They replay their own words in their mind and realize how foolish they sounded next to your composure. You live rent-free in their thoughts simply because you didn't give them the reaction they wanted. That psychological dominance is more valuable than any temporary victory through shouting or violence. In your own life, you will be tested daily. Someone will try to insult you, someone will betray you, someone will challenge you. In those moments, the easy path is to get angry and react. But if you truly want to intimidate, to lead, and to hold power, you must train yourself to stay composed. Let silence be your shield and calmness be your weapon. The world does not need to see your rage, it needs to see your control. Remember this, anger is loud but temporary. Silence is quiet but eternal. Anger gives away your weakness. Silence hides your strength. Anger shows you are controlled. Composure shows you are the one in control. The next time you are provoked, resist the urge to explode. Hold your ground, stay calm, and let your silence speak louder than their noise. In that stillness, you will find your true power. Strength is proven not by reacting, but by rising above. Anyone can react. Anyone can snap when insulted, shout when provoked, or fight when challenged. Reaction is easy. It is the instinctive answer to pressure, the natural response to discomfort. But real strength, the kind that separates the powerful from the powerless, is not found in the noise of reaction. It is found in the discipline of restraint, the courage to keep moving forward without lowering yourself to the level of those who try to pull you down. Rising above is not weakness. It is the ultimate demonstration of control, focus, and self-respect. When you react to everything thrown at you, you become a puppet controlled by the strings of others. They insult you, you explode. They doubt you, you panic. They mock you, you defend yourself desperately. Every reaction exposes that they have power over your emotions, your energy, your choices. But when you rise above, you break those strings. You show that no one can dictate how you feel or how you move. That is strength, carrying yourself with dignity when others try to strip it away, walking forward when they try to drag you into the mud, refusing to be distracted from your higher purpose. Think of the greatest challenges in your life. How many times were you tempted to react in anger, bitterness, or despair? Maybe someone betrayed you. Maybe someone laughed at your failures. Maybe circumstances seemed stacked against you. Reaction would have been the easy path, to argue, to complain, to seek revenge, to drown in self-pity. But none of those reactions would have built you stronger. True strength is when you chose to rise above instead. You focused on your growth, not their opinions. You kept your eyes on the destination, not the distractions. That's when you discovered what resilience really means. Rising above does not mean ignoring reality or pretending problems don't exist. It means choosing not to let problems consume you. It means refusing to waste energy on battles that do not deserve your attention. There will always be people who misunderstand you, who try to provoke you, who want to see you fail. If you react to all of them, you will exhaust yourself in meaningless fights. But when you rise above, you conserve your strength for the battles that matter. The battles for your goals, your dreams, and your future. Strength is not loud, it is steady. A lion does not need to roar at every dog that barks. It walks with calm authority, knowing its power is unquestionable. That is how you must carry yourself. Let others react. Let them gossip. Let them hate. Let them waste their lives in noise. You stay above it. You prove your strength by showing that their chaos does not shake your foundation. You keep moving with focus, and that silent rise intimidates far more than any heated reaction could. Rising above also builds respect. People may fear those who react with anger, but they respect those who show restraint. They admire those who refuse to get dragged into pettiness, who choose the higher road even when it is harder. Every time you rise above, you set yourself apart as someone who cannot be controlled by negativity. You become the example others look up to, the figure who inspires instead of reacts. That respect is earned not through retaliation, but through resilience. It takes far more courage to walk away from conflict than to dive into it. Anyone can argue, but not everyone can stay silent. Anyone can fight, but not everyone can resist the bait of provocation. Rising above requires vision. It requires you to see beyond the moment, beyond the insult, beyond the pain, and recognize the bigger picture. It is the act of telling yourself, this does not deserve me. My energy is too valuable. My mission is too important. That mindset creates strength far beyond physical power. It creates unshakable mental fortitude. The world is full of distractions designed to make you react. Social media, critics, failures, even your own doubts. Everything pushes for your reaction. But you are not here to fight every battle. You are here to win the war. And wars are won not by wasting energy on every shot fired your way, but by focusing on the path that leads to victory. Rising above means you refuse to step into every trap set before you. You refuse to prove yourself to people who do not matter. You rise, you move forward, and you let success speak louder than reaction ever could. Remember, storms do not last forever. The insults, the obstacles, the betrayals, they will pass. But how you respond, or rather, how you rise above them, will define you. If you react, you remain stuck in the same cycle of anger and weakness. If you rise, you step into growth, into progress, into greatness. Strength is not about proving you can fight every battle. Strength is about knowing which battles deserve your energy and walking past the ones that don't. So the next time life tests you, pause. Ask yourself, does this deserve my reaction, or does it deserve my silence? Will anger make me stronger, or will rising above show my true strength? Always remember, reacting is ordinary, but rising above is extraordinary. And those who rise are the ones who build empires, leave legacies, and inspire generations. Strength is not in the reaction. It is in the rise. In the end, strength is not measured by how loudly you respond or how fiercely you react. It is measured by how gracefully you rise. Every insult, every obstacle, every betrayal is nothing more than a test to see if you will lower yourself to the level of the noise around you, or if you will stand taller, higher, and untouchable. Rising above does not mean weakness. It means you have chosen to invest your energy in progress rather than conflict, in building rather than breaking, in growth rather than grudges. That is the path of true power. The world will always try to pull you into distractions, but your mission is too important to waste on meaningless battles. The greatest victories in life come not from fighting everything in your way, but from outgrowing it, outlasting it, and outshining it. Never let anger, pettiness, or reaction steal the greatness that belongs to you. Choose the higher road every time, because that is where peace lives, where respect is earned, and where real strength is proven. Remember this. Reaction is temporary, but rising above is eternal. And those who rise are the ones who win, not just today, but for a lifetime.